Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Deep, dark depression, excessive misery.
Hello and welcome to part 2. Now, in the last 10 minutes or so of my previous video, I spoke about some of the things that happened between me getting out of film school and to now. I haven't told you everything. A lot of stuff happens. Where to begin? At the beginning. End of summer 2010, I come home from film school. I crash. For the first couple of weeks I'm home, I just, I poop out, and I wanted so badly to get something in film, some kind of film job. So I actually looked into some internships, right? It was a 6-month internship. The problem with this internship is that it was an oh, hey, let me try that again. It was an it was an unpaid. I can't do it. Unpaid internship. I'm sorry, I can't say that without laughing. It's unpaid. Ooh. Unpaid. Oh, my opinion on unpaid internships. Slave labor. Free slave labor, ladies and gentlemen. That is unpaid internships. Slave labor. I could probably do an entire 1-hour video about how it's slave labor, but heck, I might do that later. Some of the horror stories I've heard. But anyway, like I said, I'll save that for another video. Whew. I thought about getting the unpaid internship, but that fell through. I decided I didn't want to shuffle papers for 6 months for no money. But if I go into it a little bit, I will say that why would you want to shuffle papers for 6 months for no pay? I mean, some people have said, oh, you can just get yourself a part-time job, right? You can just get yourself a part-time job, and that'll help pay for what you're not making in the unpaid. Oh, okay, so you're telling me that you don't sleep. You're working for these yahoos for free, even though they probably have plenty of money to pay you and 500 other people. Even minimum wage would be nice. I mean, come on. Okay, unpaid internships, I don't want to talk about it. Crap! 2010 to 2013, present day. My life during this time has been a void, in a sense. I mean, okay, it's not, I wasn't diagnosed with depression, but I felt like it. So much bad crap has happened. Even in the last year of film school up until now. I mean, even including the film school period towards the end, the senior film crap that happened I told you about in the first video. But, okay, 2010. So, unpaid internship, yeah, to heck with that. I tried to find some film gigs. And I realized, since student loans were coming up, Sally Mae, of course. Government loans was the only 2 loan types I had. Government loans, they don't pay that much. They'd probably, my government loans probably got about 1/10 of the cost. Like Hope Scholarship took care of 1/10 of the cost of tuition. The other 80% was just pretty much Sally Mae student loans. You guys know Sally Mae, right? You've heard of them. I was going to have to start paying back these loans in April of 2011. And I realized, well, gee, I might need to get a job. If I can't get a film job anytime soon, which it was looking slim at the time, I got my first job cleaning buildings at night. A very humbling job. Humbling. You can be sure of one thing. If you had any type of ego coming out of, I don't care what college, you go to a cleaning job, your first gig. A cleaning job will kill it, I'm telling you. All high and mighty, nope, you're scrubbing toilets. So yeah, so I started that job in like halfway through October. But I also realized, with all the money I'm wasting on gas, traveling between these buildings, and cleaning jobs don't really pay that much, because I was with a cleaning company that was competing with other cleaning companies, and the only way this company could sell themselves to these buildings, these institutions that we're going to clean, you had to lower your cost. So of course we were paid crap. So I was like, well, I'm going to need to find another job. I mean, I want to keep this one. But I know it sounds crazy, keep a cleaning job, but you know, when you have to pay back student loans, you need all the money you can get just to live. I mean, come on. So I kept that job, and I decided to try to apply for the local grocery store. And I did, and I got in. Big surprise, because at the rate they fire people who don't do their job, it was easy. Even with this, even with the way the economy is now, I mean, even back then in 2010, people desperate for jobs, yet this local grocery store, how do you mess up a simple job like that? How do you get fired? I mean, these people were like, these people that would come in and last 2 or 3 weeks and get fired, they would do stupid stuff. I mean, that's the whole society issue thing. But anyway, back to the grocery store crap. So I got a cleaning job and a grocery store job, and I was working as part of the deli in this grocery store. You know, I was learning how to make sandwiches and clean the dishes. It wasn't too bad. And then, that was in November when I started. January of 2011 rolls around, still have both jobs. They cut my hours down a lot the last week of December in the deli. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? No one could give me a straight answer. And before I knew it, the manager moved me to service clerk. Now, if any of you have worked at a grocery store, it may not be called service clerk. It may be called something else, depending on what branch you work for, or what brand grocery store you work for, company. Service clerk is pretty much like a towel boy position. You know, the bottom rung of dirt. You gotta scrub the toilets, clean the bathrooms. So, yay! I have 2 jobs that are cleaning jobs. Whoopee! You can imagine how happy I was about that. But I was paying back the student loans. I was surprised. I was actually making it. I mean, yeah, I was wasting a bunch of gas and stuff with the cleaning job at night. But during the daytime, when I had that service clerk position, I was, you know, both these jobs really stink. I mean, literally, no pun intended. Yeah, I totally intended that pun. Forget it. I mean, I was just glad. I thank God. I mean, it was crappy jobs, literally, but I thank God, because I'm like, yes, I'm actually making it. The student loans rolled around in April of 2011, started paying them, and I was actually making it. I was, yay! I was like 1/10 ecstatic. It's better than being depressed all the time. But over time, you get tired of working 2 jobs where you scrub toilets, both jobs. In February 2011, I did come across this film gig. It was a local independent studio, like a really small time thing. And we were doing a commercial production. It was this corporate supposed to be this corporate training video, not a corporate training video, but like a corporate film thing, you know, to show to local businesses, whatever. I don't remember the exact title of it, something commercial production. Anyway, it was only a 2-day shoot, but I got paid for it, $100 a day, and I was like, hey, this is good, hey. And I thought I was going to go somewhere after that. Nope. More months go by. April rolled around, started paying back my student loans. May, June, July, August. When you're working cleaning jobs, time seems to slow to a crawl. Even with each month passing by, you should feel a little bit better that you're paying back your loans, right? You're slowly chipping away at that giant stone block, and it just felt like I was going nowhere, which technically I was going a little bit at a time at snail's pace, trying to knock out the student loan, but it's just not doing it, you know? So I thought, well, I should look for a film job. Did you try to find, well, I had been looking for film jobs, I couldn't get anything. Oh, I went to AMTC. Now, what AMTC is, Actors, Models, and Talents for Christ. And I thought, well, you know, I do kind of like acting. Maybe I'll try out, maybe I'll go to one of their auditions near Atlanta and try to get into AMTC, into this program. And what they do is they help young actors, or, well, you didn't have to be young, you'd be older too. They help any like Christian actors who want to learn how to act and audition. And they have this big event, I think it's in February, where you can go and audition in front of talent scouts from Fox, Paramount, half a dozen other big studios, and you just go up on stage at this place. It's like this big hotel. You go up on stage, audition for them, and if you're lucky, and if the talent people like you, you get callbacks. And I was like, oh, okay, callbacks are good. You get half a dozen callbacks. If you get like 1, 2, 3 callbacks, you're doing good. If you get 12, hey, even better. And I thought, hey, this is great. So I went to their audition. I think it was in Marietta, Georgia at the time. August of 2011, Marietta, Georgia. I went down there, and I was nervous, you know, of course. We watched this program where it's supposed to be this inspirational thing to show you how good AMTC is and how it helps young actors, or how it helps up-and-coming actors and stuff. And I noticed it. Okay, I'm a Christian. Okay, I just want to get that out of the way. I don't mean to knock AMTC, but the beginning of this program, it showed the Hollywood sign, and all of a sudden, you know, it started shaking on the film they were doing, and the whole Hollywood sign was shaking, and rocks started tumbling down on top of the Hollywood sign on that little mountain in Hollywood. And I was like, what is this? What, you know? And then after the rocks, you know, subsided, it said AMTC, the new face of Hollywood, or fresh face of Hollywood, something like that. And I was like, is AMTC, is this like some sort of secret Christian agenda to like take over Hollywood? Or are we going to march in with the Christian flag and yes, we claim Hollywood for our own, you know? You know, okay, I'm not trying to knock them. It just seemed a little, a triumph of the will, kind of. No, just snippet. You know, I'm not. It felt a little fishy, you know. I'm a Christian, you know. We're on the same page. I'm on the same page as them, but I don't know. After watching the program, I think the program went on for like an hour before we even auditioned. But the problem, during this program we were watching, they said, for the low cost of $5,000, and part of me wanted to bust out laughing. Here I am, you know, okay, I know AMTC, it's a Christian organization, right? You know, organization, keyword organization, money. They want your money, right? That's how they get by or whatever. Probably plenty of money. But anyway, $5,000 and they'll train you how to be an actor and all other stuff. You take all these classes, and then in February you go to the big fancy acting thing with all the talent scouts from the major motion picture industry. $5,000. Okay, for a good bit of the people that were there, they didn't seem shocked like I was. I was like, $5,000. I mean, I haven't been around the acting institution much, but that's a lot of money. Is acting classes really that much? I mean, I know part of it was for the going to that fancy hotel to audition for the talent people, but it seemed like a little much. I mean, a Christian organization. Did Jesus Christ die on the cross for $5,000? Did he ask the people, okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself for your sins, but first pay me $5,000? No, he didn't. He died for free. And I'm just, that might not be the correct way to say what I'm trying to say, but it just didn't seem, okay, I'm conflicted about this. Okay, I'm a Christian, they're Christian, supposedly, and it just, the AMTC thing bothers me. I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I auditioned for the guy, even though they just gave the presentation about, give us $5,000, and we'll train you to be a great actor and act in front of all these people. But I still auditioned anyway in front of the guy. And I did this comedy routine I've been training for. And the guy liked me. And this is like one of the higher-ups in AMTC that goes to these auditions. He said, oh, you could be a good voice actor. You could be good in commercials. You have that good kind of commercially voice. And, I was feeling good about it. So they said that they would call me later that night, probably, to let me know if I got accepted. And so I went to my cleaning job, because it was a Saturday and I still had to do a cleaning job. And I went to the cleaning job, and after cleaning a few buildings later that night, I get a call from them saying I made it. And I was ecstatic, I was happy. I was like, yes, I made it. But then, I thought back to the $5,000 thing. So I go home, I told my parents about it. I said, hey, I think I could be a good actor, and everything. And then I found out something that my parents have been hiding from me for a long time. Our house wasn't paid off. We were still in debt. Now, my dad, when my dad was sending me money to help out towards the end, because I was kind of blowing through money. The last quarter of college in the summer of 2010, I was living in an apartment. Not the dorms, but in an apartment. So that wasn't covered by the student loans. I had to pay up front for that. For 3 months, we lived in this apartment in the summer, and my dad helped me out with that. But they never told me that we were in trouble with the house. Because all these years we had this house and it hadn't been paid off yet. So now, not only are my dreams for going to the AMTC thing were crushed, but I came to this very sad realization that I don't just have the student loans to worry about from film school. I have the house to worry about too. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, I'm not crazy about where I live, sell it anyway. I've lived in this house my entire life. I don't want to just up and throw it away, try to sell it. I doubt we'd even be able to get that much for it anyway if we did try to sell it. It wouldn't pay off the debt, certainly. Not the mortgage debt anyway. But they never told me. And I realized how much deeper in debt we were. That was August of 2011. In October, my mom passed away. Probably from worry. Now, it was She had a weak heart. She had had cancer treatments years earlier, and we think the chemotherapy probably weakened the tissues of her heart, and that's what we think caused her aorta to initially burst open. Yeah, that was October 2011 was a dark time for us, and I was still working 2 jobs. Then in December of 2011, not even at the end of like the first week of December, my dad had a congestive heart failure. Yeah. Woohoo! Not a fun year, 2011. So he was in the hospital for well over a month. Had surgery, got that fixed. They put a stent in. And then there was one good thing that did happen at the end of 2011. I started to get more into church activities. Now, this church over here near my house, it's a Baptist church. I've been going there pretty much most of my life. I like that church. I like the people there. And I ended up helping out on a Christmas play production that we were doing. It was one of the more ambitious ones we've done, and I had a camera. I actually used this camera, and I filmed the Christmas play. I mean, it was kind of like a last-minute thing, but I said, hey, I can film it for you guys, because I felt like I needed to, give something. All this bad stuff happening, maybe this doing this good deed for the church will help out my feelings. And it did, and I filmed it, and what I did was I put subtitles to it, because there was a lot of shut-ins at our church, and shut-ins are people that can't make it out of their house, they're too elderly, or they don't have any family members to help them, and our church would help them out a lot, go sing at their house and stuff, or just go to visit, say hi, and sometimes the church would donate money for them. So I decided, I could put subtitles to this video of the Christmas play, and it was a long process, but I got it done, because the audio wasn't that great in our Family Life Center. So I made the video, put the subtitles in it. It's about a little over an hour long, I think, because I had to cut out the black areas when everything was dark so that they could, I could edit the scenes together. Because the actual play was like an hour and a half, but it would have been like 45 minutes to an hour if they had everything already prepared on like 8 different stages, but they couldn't do that. So I edited it down. It was like 45 minutes, around about. So I edited it down to like 45 minutes, an hour, and I made copies, and we sent them out, and I felt good about myself. I felt good that I got invested in the church some. I didn't feel completely useless just going to my 2 jobs and coming home and not doing much. So I got through that, and I felt good. For the first time in months, I had felt good. I mean, since I got out of film school, I did something good with film, or video, whatever. But another thing. So, January, February, Dad came home, had to rest in this chair a lot. Yeah, he couldn't move around too much, and I would help out. Other family members came by and helped out. It's still, even with the small victory of filming the church play, making me feel good, I still was living in dark times. And January, February 2012, I actually caught wind of a film production that was going on near my house. Or actually, probably 10 miles north of my house, near, it's like this lake house. A really nice looking lake house. And we were going to have this feature-length independent film being shot there, or most of it being shot at the house. So a cousin sent me word that one of her friends was going to be working on it. I connected with her, and I got to work on the film. And I was like, yes! I went to the first meeting at the director's house, And I signed the contract and everything, and I was going to be a production assistant. I mean, it was only $50 a day, but it was still worth it. The problem is, it was deferred pay, which means I worked on this film for 2 weeks, and I still haven't gotten paid for it yet. Because it's, you signed the contract, it said deferred pay, and you just got to wait till they sell the film. I mean, it's already made and everything. By now, it's already made. But you got to wait for the director or producer to actually sell it in order for them to get the money, because they have to pay the higher members first, and they pay the lower members. I still haven't got paid yet, and it's been over a year. Which makes me wonder if I ever will get paid. I hope I do. But then another bad thing happened in April. My dog died. 2 deaths, 6 months apart. Okay, a lot of people talk about their dogs like, oh, it's just a dog, but this wasn't just a dog to me. This dog was like my best friend. Well, best dog friend. I had a best friend in school, but he was like my best animal buddy, And man, I loved him like crazy. He was a good dog. I mean, my dog was just like me. I didn't like sports. He didn't like sports. I liked to walk around and look at nature and explore things. He would walk around and like to explore things. He explored the woods around my house like crazy when he was a pup. And I had that dog since I was 10 years old. That dog lived for almost 16 years. And he was killed when he was trying to cross the road. He lost his way in the subdivision that had been built next door. And he had done that 3 or 4 times before. But he wandered out into the road, and actually there's this girl who, this like teenage girl who's going to the high school that I used to go to, and she was trying to coax him away from the highway, try to get him to come here. But the thing with my dog is he doesn't like, he's not crazy about strangers. He's not one of those dogs that runs up to a stranger like, and lets them pet him and everything. He only trusted my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, and that was it. He didn't trust anybody else. So this girl's trying to coax him over, and he gets hit by the first car, and then a second car hits him. He survived the first hit, but he didn't survive the second one. Oh, but I actually called and talked to her. I mean, I talked to the father. The father was the one who called me and said, yeah, my daughter tried to save your dog and everything, but the dog wouldn't get out of the road. He was too scared. Later, I tried calling his phone number after talking to him the first time, a couple days later, and I actually got the daughter who tried to save my dog. And I told her, he was my dog, and she said, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. I just want to say, thank you for trying, even though you didn't get it. And that brings me to another thing. Back in the hospital. When my mom was dying in the hospital, this happened like an hour or 2 after she had the stroke. There were 7 people working on her, trying to get her to come back to life. Her heart stopped beating like 20 minutes ago, and there was 7 hard-working nurses just trying to bring her back. And the doctor came up to my dad and I and my sister and said, we need your word to say when to stop, or do you want us to keep going? And I looked at my dad, and I'm just like, I think we should stop. They've tried. I mean, but after all that, we gathered around her bedside in the hospital. And I looked at the 7 people that were working on her, and they were standing back, looking down stuff. And I had this thought in my head. I looked at them and I said, thank you for trying to save her. Thanks for trying. Because I thought about all the times that doctors and nurses fail to save someone, and they try so hard to save them, but they can't save them. All the EMT and personnel like that. And I thought, how many people actually says thank you for trying, even when they fail? I mean, because with all the people that doctors and nurses lose trying to save, I mean, they must feel terrible that they failed to save someone. I mean, it's their part of their job, part of their life, but it hurts them too, even if they don't know the person. So I said, thank you for trying. And I just felt like saying it because they deserved it. They had been working on her for 20 minutes after her heart stopped. And I was like, thank you guys. Thanks for trying anyway. I appreciate your, Anyway, okay. You know what? I want to move past that part now. Okay. So, it's 2 deaths in the family, 6 months apart. And I worked on that feature-length independent film. That was April 2012. And now I started to get tired of my service clerk job, right? Also, I was getting tired of the other cleaning job I had at night. So, I was like, you know what? I don't want to work the cleaning job anymore. I quit the cleaning job. Just, because I actually got to the point at the grocery store job, when I was a service clerk, I actually got to the point where I was making enough money to pay off the loans each month, to make the payments each month. And I thought, well, you know what? I don't need the cleaning job anymore. Going around cleaning buildings at night, wasting all this money on gas. Because, to tell you the truth, the amount I was being paid at the cleaning job at night and the amount of money I was spending on gas, it leveled out to where I was like, nah, heck with it. I'm sticking with the grocery store job. The grocery store I work at, it's like a mile drive away. I fill up on gas once a month. With the cleaning job, I filled up every 3 days. It was taking all my money. I was just breaking even. There's no reason to have this cleaning job, so I quit that. You know, now that I think of it, slavery was never really gone. I mean, in 1865, slavery was abolished, yeah, but here in America, there's another kind of slavery. A slavery that doesn't require whips and chains, but rather digital whips and chains. What am I talking about? I'm talking about student loan debt. Yes, student loan debt, ladies and gentlemen. It's bigger than the housing bubble now. Well, I think that was official back in 2012 or 11, whichever year. But yeah, going forward in 2012, I started saving up a little extra money each time and started paying on my government loan. Because the stupid thing about Sally Mae, when you try to make an advance payment, when you try to pay extra, I tested it and they tack that extra onto the interest for the next month. Or at least that's what I think they were doing. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was also looking up other stories online of people paying their loans back from Sally Mae, and they were saying the same thing, that they would send letters saying this $100 check is to pay off the principal only on so-and-so loan. And they would send it in and say principal only on the check, and they'd still apply it to interest. Dang, man, come on! So I thought, well, I'm going to pay more on the government loan, because the government loan doesn't do that. When you pay extra on the government loan, it actually knocks it down more. Therefore, when you knock down more of the principal, you knock down the interest you're paying each month on each payment. So I started focusing my extra money that I was making on the government loan. Now, I'm still barely scraping by, so it's not a whole lot of money that's knocking down this government loan, but it's still helping. It's bringing that end of pay date closer to now, which I like, because I really honestly don't want to spend the next, 20 years of my life paying these back. I want to pay them back as soon as possible. Some people say, yeah, I'm not going to pay them back, pirates. Yeah, but then they call you and harass you every day, especially if it's Sally Mae. And then they can ask the government to take a chunk of your wages at your local job. You wouldn't like that, would you? No. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to pay back my student loans, but the problem I have with Sally Mae is that the payments are so darn high each month. That's what was killing me financially. I mean, I know I borrowed a lot, but good Lord, I mean, does the payments have to be so high? I mean, in 6 months, a lot of students getting out of film school or college, depending on what kind of degree they had, they could not find a job to save their life. A lot of students getting out of school, they lose their apartments, they can't maintain any kind of income to buy a house or a new place. A lot of these kids coming out of school, a lot of them have moved into their parents' house, like me. I don't get me wrong, I like it here. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But it would be nice to have my own place. But the problem is money. These kids are getting out of school and can't find a job. Not even in 6 months could they find a job. I couldn't. Or even if I tried, unpaid internships. Don't get me started on unpaid internships. One thing that helped me through my depression was in 2011 when all this bad stuff was happening after my mom died and after Dad had his heart condition. I started to watch PewDiePie's videos. Now, for those of you who don't know who PewDiePie is, he's got like, what, 8 million subscribers now as of halfway through June. I started watching his videos when he only had about almost 100,000 subscribers. I mean, this is when he was still, working his way up on YouTube. I was watching PewDiePie's amnesia videos. And he made me laugh a couple of times. I actually liked his videos. And that helped me through it too. And then in 2012, I actually started to watch Nostalgia Critic. And I really enjoyed his commentaries on films and his film reviews. And his friends are on the website thatguywiththeglasses.com. His friends do a pretty good job too of reviewing movies, and each have their own little personality. And PewDiePie and Nostalgia Critic and his clan of reviewers, that kind of helped me get through my depression. I would watch those videos and, it made me feel good. I got some good feeling out of it. And I love movies, and Nostalgia Critic and all his friends were talking about these films I find very relevant, and I agree with their viewpoints, and I like the comedy that they put into them, into their reviews. But I've actually noticed that since I've gotten further away from 2010, 2011, even 2012, things have been getting better for me. I mean, I've been successfully paying back the student loans for 2 years now, and a decent chunk of it has been taken out. I'm not owing as much as I used to. In a way, time is saving me, helping me. There's a poem that Dr. Soren, the villain in Star Trek Generations, quotes. He says, "Time is the fire in which we burn." Of course, he's referring to the poem where it talks about how time can be an enemy. It ages us, we get older, we leave so many things unfinished in this life. And I don't want to leave my film career unfinished. I want to make movies still. I haven't given up on it. This depression has taken its toll on me, the deaths in the family, but I am getting better. I'm feeling better. I'm not as sick as I used to be. Well, I mean, I still throw up occasionally because of stress, nerves, whatever's causing it. Bad food, grocery store. Ugh. But slowly, I am getting happier. I actually drew a chart to show you. All right, you got depressed, content, and happy. Right now, I am in, where's my marker? Let's see. Right now, son of a, hey, now here's my chart. Here you have depressed, content, and happy. Right now, 2013. 2010, I was way over here. But now it's we're halfway done with 2013, and I am probably around here somewhere in this general area. I'm still trying to get to content. I would like to be over there. You know, let's see, what would make me happy? $1 million bucks. Hey, pay off my loans in one fell swoop. And pay off the house too. That would be nice. You know what this reminds me of? You know that game in The Price is Right where they had that yodeling guy go up the mountain? I think it was called Cliffhangers. Yeah, that's what this chart reminds me of.